In Wajir, single mothers are grappling with emotional and financial hardship as they struggle to raise their children alone after divorce. Many say their former husbands have abandoned their responsibilities, leaving them to shoulder the burden of parenthood on their own. At just 23, Halima, not her real name, has endured more hardships than many experience in a lifetime. Divorced 3 years ago, she was left with nothing but her 2 young children, a boy and a girl, and the overwhelming responsibility of providing for them on her own. Married at just 19, Halima had hoped for a better life, a life of stability and comfort. But within 2 years, that dream crumbled. Now her youthful days are defined by hardships. Her small salon business barely meets her family's needs. Her parents can offer little help, and her own ambitions have been forced to the sidelines. Even the simplest promises were broken. The dowry she was owed, just one camel, was never delivered. For Halima, choosing silence over confrontation felt like the safer path, yet that silence has come with a painful price. Halima's experience is far from isolated. Across Wajir, countless women share a similar struggle. Among them is Hamdi, a single mother who has spent the past 8 years raising a daughter almost entirely on her own.
marna waa helaa soo badanaa ku mashquul inaa waca soo ma garanan soo badanaa ana ma soo xasuustay badanaa ana ismaaray macna ma soo xasuustay soo markaan soo xasuusto mar waan ka helaa marna waa ka waaya.
These are not just individual stories. They form part of a growing crisis where the collapse of marriages all too often leads to the collapse of responsibility. For women rights advocates, the issues run far deeper, rooted in long-standing cultural norms, lack of awareness, and a system that often turns a blind eye to the struggles of single mothers.
It's difficult to get child maintenance because of animosity. If you're angry at your wife, you're also angry at the children. That is the notion most Somali men have. If you leave her, you've also left her with her baggage. Number two, it's the fact that people do not have proper Islamic knowledge, that once you give birth to this child, he's pegged on you. Thirdly, it's also about the culture, the carelessness, that nobody pegs on them any responsibility. Men are usually put on a higher pedestal and they can get away with so much, unlike women.
The County Children Office has been witnessing the crisis unfold, with statistics that paint a stark and painful picture of the growing problem.
Children maintenance or neglect is actually the leading case among the caseloads that we handle in our offices. Almost 60% of the cases we handle is about neglect of children, where parents separate or divorce. So it's an issue that we treat with a lot of seriousness, with a lot of concern.
Behind every figure lies a story of abandonment, resilience, and the silent struggle of women striving to raise children against all odds. Neglect is more than just abandonment. It is punishable offense under the Kenyan law.
Neglect, as provided for in the law, in the Children's Act specifically, Children's Act 2022, is an offense under the law. The children are the future of our society. And if we don't protect children, then it is like we have forfeited our future. So as an office, we are mandated to protect that future by all means.
Yet for many single mothers, justice remains out of reach, trapped between legal loopholes and societal silence. But even with the law on their side, many mothers choose silence. Stigma, fear, and deeply ingrained traditions keep them from seeking help through courts or rights groups.
That probably even him, he was left with his father, he was abandoned by his father, he has a lot of traumas, and now he doesn't care. He's like, even me, I grew up without a father in a chaotic home, so I don't care whatever I do to these children.
Advocates warn that this silence doesn't protect them, it only reinforces the cycle of suffering. It is a cycle that extends beyond the present, normalizing neglect and shaping a legacy of silence. Breaking it, advocates say, will require not just laws, but a shift in mindset, one that restores accountability, dignity, and hope for abandoned children. Religious leaders play a crucial role in breaking this chain. Their voices carry moral authority and can help reshape community attitudes, reminding families that responsibility and compassion are values deeply rooted in the Islamic faith.
I would encourage the ulamas, number one, to make it like a priority for themselves to talk about this issue that's found within our community. For example, like every Friday sermon, they should remind the men that neglecting your duties has a consequences, not only here but also in the akhirah.
Religious leaders are calling on men to take full responsibility for their children after divorce, urging them to provide financial support and care as part of their moral and religious duty.
There are several men who normally neglect their rights of their children after they divorce the woman. Islamically, that one is prohibited. We urge all of them to be wise enough to think of their children and do the necessary. If they have divorced the wife, the rights of the children are still there. So I will urge all of them to provide what they can.
Yet without economic empowerment, campaigners caution sermons alone are not enough. Lasting change, they say, depends on creating real opportunities that enable single mothers to support their families with dignity and independence.
At the community level also, we should have a lot of radio talk shows. We should also have a lot of meetings, because the way things are going, things are getting out of hand. We need to rescue our generation. We're going to have fatherless generation, and that is going to affect the Somali community. So I will encourage our partners within Wajir County to be doing a lot of economic resilience for these single mothers so that they can be able to support their children.
With widespread neglect persisting, the future of many children in Wajir hangs in the balance. Their well-being, education, and prospect for a better life threatened by the absence of parental support and social protection.